This is Greg Collins, Substitute Teachers Lounge. We interview students live today, and they're going to talk about how they feel about virtual learning and substitute teachers. You're going to want to hear what they have to say.
Substitute Teachers Lounge.
All right, this is Greg Collins back with Substitute Teachers Lounge. We've got 6 of the greatest students in the world here this morning. I'm going to let them introduce themselves first. Just tell us your first name and let's say your favorite subject in school. Go.
Samara and math.
Okay.
Mary Beth and probably reading.
Okay.
Hayden and social studies.
All right, good deal.
Jaden and probably science.
Okay. Jenna, you go ahead. That's okay.
All, I guess.
All right.
I'm Miley and probably social studies.
Good, good. All right. Now, the reason we're here today, guys, virtual learning is such a big thing in the country right now. In our particular district, you've heard me say this before, we started out with a few weeks of virtual only. Then we went to a few weeks of half the students were in the class and half were home. So we Zoomed and had them all in the same area at the same time. Then we went to everybody back in the classroom unless they chose to continue their education at home. But then our rates went up too high and we had to go back to virtual. So that's where we are in our particular area of the country. First question, guys. I want to ask you, how do you feel virtual learning has affected the ability of teachers to teach? Let's start with Mary Beth, because I've heard you talk about this before. So go ahead.
Well, I think the ability to teach online from the teacher's perspective, well, sometimes like just happened in the Kahoot, my internet can like crash and I can miss like half a class.
Right.
And I just want to go back in person. Like it's just easier that way. I learn better that way. So
Jaden, anything to add?
I think it's really hard for teachers to do it over Zoom because like Mary Beth said, their internet might crash, ours might, and like you might not find like attachments and stuff and you have to post it. We have to turn it in and sometimes it just don't turn in and stuff. So yeah.
And then sometimes on like the teacher's end, like sometimes they'll be like crowded with emails from students and they'll be like,
True.
Yeah. Or like
right.
Miscommunication or something.
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have anything to add?
Yes. I agree with both of them. And why? Well, like they said that the internet could crash. Yes, I do agree to that. And also, it's like, it's much harder because you can't focus that much. And so, yeah.
Okay. Caden, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what they said, but also it kind of makes it harder on the teachers to like keep the students on track to what they're doing. Like if the teacher has something that they want the kids to do in class, they can tell them to do it and they kind of can direct them to do it. But online, if they don't do it, they don't do it. The teachers can't do anything about it.
Good point. Miley, what do you got to add?
I don't have anything to add. I kind of agree with everything they said.
Okay. Kamara?
Same thing.
Okay. I'm glad you all said that, and I knew you felt that way. I'll tell everybody that I have all these students in for 2 periods a day. I hate that for them, but I have them in both math and computer applications. And in computer applications, they've all worked on podcasts. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to have them on here. Let's flip it around. Do you think that virtual learning is affecting your grades, or if you want to just say students in general? And since I see Kamara nodding her head, I'm going to let her start first. How do you think it's affected it, Kamara?
My grades have went down so bad. They are terrible now. I have a B in social studies now.
All right. What? Anybody else that wants to jump in there? Go ahead.
I mean,
Like Kamara said, like I do better in person because I can understand more. But if you're doing it on virtual and you're trying to show us like how to do an equation or something, it might like lag and the words might not match what you're drawing and we just won't get it completely.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like it's more difficult and my grades definitely go down more than in person.
Right. And I'll let everybody know too that's listening that our procedures in the school we're in, we tried our best to keep students 6 feet apart when they're there, and we all have to wear masks. If the class is too big, it makes it tough, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you all know, I look around here and I know that I've been to each of your desks individually, and we've talked about some of the things that we needed to go over, and I can't do that if I'm sitting here in my home. I want to know, I'm curious about something. I'll switch the topic a little bit. What have your folks been saying about virtual learning? Oh, no, they all grimace. I want to know, and I know our listeners will want to know too. Raise your hand if you want to go first. Mary Beth, that was fast. Go ahead.
Well, my folks absolutely hate it and just want me to go back in school because one, they're tired of me being at home just sitting on my lazy butt and doing work on the computer. And they just hate it because my mom sometimes has to work from home. And so like when we were going like half virtual and half in school, or like we were all virtual, sometimes my mom would have to go into the office and I would have to stay home with my sister. So like sometimes I would be late to my Zoom classes. I was trying to get her on it, or I was trying to take care of the dog. It was just awful. So my mom just wants me to go back.
Jaden, go ahead.
So Mary Beth is right. My little brother doesn't know how to get on the Zoom classes, so I have to help him. And it's just me and my little brother here. So I kind of have to watch him. My mom calls me every minute, sees if I'm awake in my Zoom classes. And also I have to help my brother with like his assignments because he's like failing bad. And so, yeah. And also my parents don't like that I'm here because, well, sports are kind of going again, but when they weren't, I was just sitting at home being lazy. So my mom likes me to be in sports like every second. So it's kind of hard for my mom because she works and stuff. But yeah, it's really hard.
Okay, let's go Miley and then we'll go Caden.
Well, my mom thinks that I'm like not doing enough work and stuff. So she like bought books from online and making me do them during Flex.
Good for her.
And if I do like one thing wrong, she yells at me. And it's
Caden, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of what Jaden was saying. My sister is here with me all day, and my mom also works from home, so it kind of drives my mom crazy because she has both of us and if we need help at the same time.
Absolutely.
My mom's like frustrated and everything.
Right.
So it's kind of just hard on her and everything.
All right, let's switch the question a little bit. What do you think there will be some changes that the pandemic has caused that will stay permanent even when the worst of it is over? Jaden, go ahead. That was a quick raising of your hand there. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like restaurants going in. I think those are probably gonna stay because they opened a little bit.
Okay.
But it was like a limit amount in, so you won't like. I think it's gonna stay like that with like when the worst is already passed.
Right.
They still don't take any chances because it's not even the worst right now, but it's pretty bad. But they're still closed.
Right.
So yeah.
Jenna, did I see your hand go up?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Mask, not on the face, but just mask. So yeah.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. Miley, I see your virtual hand up. Did you want to say something too?
I feel like we won't have any more like snow days and NTI days because they'll just tell you to go on Zoom.
Oh, that's a good point. You know, I'll be honest, the things I think that are going away are shaking hands. I don't think we'll do that as much. We probably, there's some people that tell you we shouldn't have done that in the first place because, even when flu season, that's a good way to pass germs. I think the days of water fountains are over. We're going to have all those fill stations. They'll be in there forever. Let's do this. This one I like because I already know some of your answers because you've already shared them with me. What ideas do you have that would make virtual learning better, work better, go more smoothly, anything like that? Jenna, go. And then Caden, and then Jaden.
More interest and not only focus, but you also I'll just say that more entertainment. That's
Okay. I can't remember. Did I say Caden or Jaden next? Caden, go ahead.
I was gonna say that on Zoom, how you can do the breakout rooms and all of that. Like, if we're going over something that maybe not the whole class understands, maybe the teacher could put like the kids that do understand in a breakout room and the kids that don't understand in a breakout room.
Right.
And you could go in a little bit more depth in it and like just explain it a little bit more.
Very good point. We've actually had a whole episode of this podcast about breakout rooms. Jaden, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say maybe like change the class times because we have flex on Wednesdays. So it would be first period or like fourth period and then fifth period. And then we would have flex maybe on Wednesdays. But then if we don't have flex, we have to wait for like 3 hours and then have a class at 1. What if you like changed like the first period class to like 10 o'clock and then like did it where we didn't have to wait? And
I see what you're saying. That's a good point. Okay. Now, Mary Beth, you actually shared some thoughts on the podcast you sent me. So tell us what your ideas would be.
My idea was to like every Friday we would have like no Zoom classes and it was just a catch-up day because I don't think teachers understand how much work they kind of like give us most of the time. Like one time I had like 30 assignments due in like
oh wow
period. And it like I had Zoom classes that day, so I couldn't even get those assignments done.
Gotcha.
So like just a catch-up day. Because my sister, she's in first grade and she gets a catch-up day and she back in a week. And I get like 40 assignments a week. I'm just like, God.
Yeah, because I know that Caudle has a work day like every week and doesn't have any Zoom classes.
Yeah. The high school does that too.
Right. I think you're right. All right.
Well,
and of course, I don't know. Did the high schools ever go back into the building? I can't remember.
They went back for like 4 days.
4 days. That's right. And the freshmen started first, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right. Good ideas, guys. Now, I'm going to switch the topic just a little bit because this is the Substitute Teachers Lounge podcast. So your next question is this. What makes your favorite substitute teachers your favorite? Who wants to answer that one? Look at you all grimace. Caden, go ahead.
Like I want a teacher that like is nice and likes to talk to the students, not one that's always grumpy and like all of that.
Yeah, we've had too many of those.
Okay.
Yeah, no joke.
Jaden, go ahead.
I think that I like teachers that don't give us so much assignments. That gives us like time to do it, but not like a week.
Not like 3 days.
Like that don't do a lot of tests and stuff. I personally think that they shouldn't be doing any tests because people can like look it up on the internet, use their study guide. But sometimes the teachers do give us study guides.
Gotcha.
So it makes it easy.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, I like teachers that are like funny and that can talk and work out problems. Yeah.
Well, let me change the question a little bit. Have substitute teachers ever made you feel disrespected? And what did they do to do that? Wow, I think every hand went up. Kamara, we haven't talked to you in a while. You go first.
There's one teacher who I had like twice a week one time, and I had to correct her so many times on how to say my name. And it was annoying at this point. She kept wrong, and I had to correct her like 5 times.
Yeah, that I agree.
My name was spelled. She was mad that my name was spelled that way.
Oh.
She was like, why is your name spelled like that? And I said, that's because my mom wanted it spelled that way.
Okay, all of you want to talk on this one, so I'll just go in the order that I see them on my screen. Miley, go ahead.
Yeah. one teacher that disrespected me was like when I did a paper and I wrote everything on it, and she said get it done by the end of class, and I turned it in like a little late, and she literally just threw it in the trash and didn't even read it.
Okay, you got a good point. Caden, go ahead.
So last year in 6th grade in social studies class, we had it wasn't a sub, but it was a help teacher.
Okay.
And I was confused on what we were doing. So I was asking a question, and apparently she didn't like the question I asked, and she got really mad at me. And like, I was just so confused on what was happening. And then I said, it was just a question. Why are you so mad? And then she went off on me again. I was just like,
well,
okay.
Caden,
Okay,
something
why
like
would you ask
that,
that?
then you're going to get the back.
Listen at him go. Listen at him go. I can't remember. Jenna, go ahead. Jenna, go ahead.
Well, apparently we were both disrespecting each other. So in 2nd grade or 1st, I don't know. So she had favorites and she gave food to them. So she shared. I didn't like that at all. I don't know what else, but I remember that I was in a corner crying, and then apparently
oh no.
I don't know why, but and pretty sure I told her some mean stuff. I don't know. But yeah. That's all.
All right, we'll do Jaden and then Mary Beth.
Yeah, because mine's a long one.
Okay, go ahead, Jaden.
Okay. So I'm not gonna say any names because Mr. Collins, you know him. Okay. So anyway, one teacher that I had, so I dyed my hair one year, and so I was walking in there, and the day that she knew I dyed my hair, she was like, "You know it grows from your roots, right? So your hair's gonna be like brown and then red." And I was like, "Yeah, that I can do that." And she was like, "Well, it's gonna look ugly." And I'm like, "I don't care. It's my hair. I can do whatever I want to."
Oh no!
I'll call your mom. And my mom went off on her.
I will say that when I see colored hair, I try to compliment because I want, I've told you all before that I grew up in the 70s, back when all the guys grew their hair down to their shoulders because they all wanted to look like the Beatles. So I'm all right with expressing yourself that way. That doesn't bother me at all. Mary Beth, go ahead.
Okay. So it was last year in social studies, and we had a test that day, which was just fantastic when there's a sub. So we were doing it, and he told us, no talking. I understood that. I mean, that's been going on since 1st grade.
And that's hard for you. That's hard for you, isn't it?
No.
Yes, it's very hard.
I'm just kidding. I like all these students. That's why I pick on them so much.
Anyway, so my pencil broke on the first question. So I asked the student next to me, not going to say her name, but I said, "Can I use your pencil sharpener?" And the sub whips its head around and looks at me and says, "I said no talking." I said, "I know, I'm just asking because my pencil broke." He said, "So you're going to talk back? You're getting a write-up." It's like, are you kidding me?
You got mad at me for saying what I said, and you said that, and act like it's okay.
It sounds like this bunch self-disciplines themselves. Let's go. This has gone.
I said it was just
go ahead.
a question.
Wait. Go ahead, Mary Beth.
So I argued with him for the next 10 minutes after I had my test done, and he was like, "Well, since you're arguing, then I'm just going to send you to the principal's office." It's like, are you kidding me?
I was just being like, "Okay, do it."
Talking because
Jaden, go ahead.
Okay, so this person disrespected me, I don't know for sure, but it wasn't a substitute. It was one of my coaches. So anyway, okay, so before the season even started, I went and got my hair done because I had to go to a funeral. So I got my hair done and I missed practice, and I didn't know I had practice that day because I didn't know the schedule yet before I scheduled my hair appointment. But anyway, I got my hair done, and whenever I get back, he was like, "You would know the place if you didn't go get your hair done. It's all because of that stupid hair." I was like, I had to get it for I had to get it for a funeral. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Hey guys, you all have done real well today. We've got time for probably one more question. I'm trying to decide which one I want it to be. I'll let you do either side of the question. I'll go around. I'm going to do Kamara, then Mary Beth, Kaden, Jaden, Jenna, and Miley, because that's the way you are on my screen right now.
Okay.
You can answer either question. How should teachers reward students? Or how should they discipline students? Now, I'm not talking about bad discipline. I'm not talking about if they punch somebody. I'm talking about if they just behave or talk too much in the class. What's the best way to discipline students? So tell me either how should we reward them? How should we discipline them? Kamara, you're first.
For discipline, you could take points off of an assignment, but I don't really know.
Okay. All right. Mary Beth.
So to discipline, I think in 5th grade, the biggest thing that I just did not like about my teacher is she believed in group discipline. And if one person did it, then that person should be disciplined, not the whole group. It just doesn't make sense if you
Good. I agree with all that. And I think you all know the only time I will group discipline you is for talking, because I feel like if I put pressure on one student, if you talk again, you're going to ruin it for the whole class. I think that kind of helps them be quiet more. But I agree with you. I don't like group discipline either. All right, Kaden, how should they reward or discipline? Either one.
So for reward, I say like if one student gets like 100 on a test and everybody else kind of just flunks it, or one student just gets an A and everybody flunks it, I say that student should either get something like special to do or just get like a few pieces of candy or something.
Okay. All right. That's hard to argue with. Jaden, go ahead.
I think for reward, if like Hayden said, like if they do something, I'm not going to say better than the other classmates did, but if they did something like got 100 like on a test or something, they should get like 5 extra points on another assignment or something.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting topic. The crazy thing is, in my opinion, probably the student that does that won't need 5 points on the next test. You know what I mean?
Or like on an assignment or something, like 5 extra points just to boost up their grade or something.
Right. Jenna, what do you think? Jenna, let's try you again. Let me see if I can hear you now.
I think reward, because, a student should be a second helper, like a second teacher, though.
Good. I like that thought. Miley, how do you think a teacher should either reward or discipline a student?
They could reward them by having them not do some parts of an assignment. That's if they get a really good grade on something.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's good. All right, guys, you have done great today. I really love the podcast you sent me. I'm glad you all were able to be a part of this. And I can tell from you 7th graders that the future of this country is in good hands. So we plan on you leading it someday. How's that? All right.
Mary Beth, I don't know.
Shut up.
They're getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand.
What?
You're probably the weakest person here.
Watch
brains
out.
and all.
It looks like it's time for me to end. You all, everybody.
I was the only one that got that question right.
Everybody say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week on Substitute Teachers Lounge. And we just heard Friday that we're going to be virtual the first week back too. So you see what kind of toll it's taken on us all. I wish you the best. Have great holidays, and hopefully we can have a 2021 that will help out everyone, get everybody to a healthy state, and get us all back into the classrooms when we can. See you later. Music provided by Ben Sound.